Hi there, my name is Toby, and on this video I want to talk about questioning, because a lot of the videos I make are very critical. I'm critical of mainstream knowledge, mainstream information, and so that seems like I am perhaps being overconfident, because in order to be critical you have to have a certain confidence, and I do accept that in return people are going to criticize me. Of course they are, and I accept that, and it's very, very important. It's important to keep on questioning, and I do. I always question myself every day in everything I do, and we all should. The moment we think we know something, that's the moment we stop learning, no matter how confident you are in that subject. And so I had a lot of criticism now from people, and critics seem to be overconfident. All of them are, including myself. Like I said, if I'm going to be critical of mainstream knowledge, that implies perhaps I'm being overconfident in what I think I know. But you notice that, all of us will notice that. Someone that criticizes you are very confident in themselves. They think they know, and so they're in the correct position to criticize you. So I accept that. It's very, very important. And questioning is the way forward. You have to keep on questioning. I have to keep on questioning, and we all should. Question what you think you know. Question yourself. Look deep inside and see what's going on inside your own mind, what's happening. And one of the reasons I started this channel is also to keep on learning. You see, I discovered this many, many years ago when I started to teach Kung Fu. My senior brother in Kung Fu taught me how to teach, and that's one of the things he told me. He said, look, the moment you start teaching, you're going to learn faster. And it's true. If you learn as a student, and a good student, you can learn fast, but the moment you start teaching, your learning will accelerate, because you have to now answer questions that other students ask you, and you've got to find the answer. And so that's again the nature of this channel. I'm asking questions in my videos, and I'm asking questions of the mainstream knowledge, and I do it in quite a dramatic way. So I do know that that is going to disturb people. People might not like that, and it opens me up to be criticized, and that's perfectly correct. It's perfectly correct. Of course, I deserve to be criticized also, and I must take that and think about it and question myself. But usually I have already done those questions. So when people criticize me in a certain thing, they don't realize I've already been through that question, and I'm still saying what I'm saying. But nevertheless, I do always question, and I must always consider that I could be totally wrong. The moment you are 100% sure of yourself in any sort of knowledge is the moment that you might stop learning. And we don't want to stop learning. So in theory, when you teach, you learn faster. So that's one of the reasons I started this channel, is to learn faster. The moment I put out my information, I'm going to get feedback, and I'm going to learn more about it for myself. So this channel is to help everyone question, help everyone learn, and question things they might not have questioned before. But it's also for me, to help me learn, help me question, and get feedback. So I'm very, very grateful to all the critics, even the harsh critics. There's some very, very harsh critics, but I don't mind that. I'm very grateful of a harsh critic also. A harsh critic is someone that is very confident in what they think they know. So we can all observe that. When someone criticizes you, they're very confident. They think, wow, you don't know anything. I know, you don't know. And of course they could be right, but usually overconfidence is also a sign that you don't know everything either. Overconfidence is a sort of a bravado, so we must keep questioning ourselves. And I want to answer one thing about my last lecture on hypnosis. One of my subscribers gave me a good critique, and basically saying, no, hypnosis can be very good for healing. And I did acknowledge that in the video. At the very beginning, I did say hypnosis can be used for healing. That's not so bad, but it's got to be done carefully. And again, my videos are done a bit dramatically. I don't deny it, I'm a bit dramatic, because I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to cut through existing knowledge and make people question. And it disturbs people. I am trying to disturb people to get them to think. And in return, people are going to come back and disturb me, make me think. Is it right what I just said? And that is important. I need that, I accept that, and I respect that. So I'm very grateful to all the critics. No matter how harsh a critic you are to me, I'm very grateful. Now, this video is an interesting one because I'm here, we're having a little holiday in Tenerife, and I want to take you through some footage I took yesterday in Tenerife because it was a storm, a thunderstorm, a rainstorm, and all night, very stormy. The trees blew over, some glass windows broke, so it's quite a dramatic storm. But yesterday we went out in a storm and I saw lightning and thunder, and we were right under where it builds up. So I'll show you that footage in a second. But I talk about lightning. Other people, if you've seen my videos, you'll see I've talked about lightning a few times in terms of ether. And I've even been quite cavalier, and I said that whenever I see lightning, I want to go out and see if I can get some of the lightning to hit me. Now, of course, again, I'm being dramatic. That's crazy nonsense. You know, the lightning that we saw yesterday was so powerful. If it actually did hit me or anyone, I think it'd be vaporized. It'd be completely vaporized. So powerful. But the lightning was going down to the sea. It will go to the sea because lightning will also ground in that large body of water. It didn't come to the earth, it went down to the sea. So let me take you through that footage right now, and I'll carry on talking as we go. So this is today, early in the morning, and you can just see the tail end of the storm here. I've taken the sound off so you can't hear the wind, but you can see the trees blowing. And overnight, again, some trees blew over, some glass windows broke in the hotel. So it's quite dramatic, a dramatic storm here in Tenerife. And I'm here on holiday with my wife, her brother, and her mother, so I'm here with my in-laws. But I'm very blessed to have such a lovely family. My brother-in-law has taken us here, so he's taken us on holiday. So I'm ever so blessed to have that chance to come with these guys. And yesterday we went on a hike. So myself and my brother-in-law went on about a 12-mile hike through the mountains. And you'll see in a minute here the beginning of this storm, ever so powerful. And when you see the power of nature, it's so magic. It's so humbling. It's so, I don't know, but when you feel the power of nature, I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but you feel part of this. You see, we are all part of nature, and this is a thing that we're missing. We're missing this. Now, not only is this storm going on, when I come here to Tenerife, I sleep outside. I sleep on the balcony. So I sleep under the stars, and I even slept last night during the storm outside on the balcony, but just under the cover, so I could experience the storm all night long. But I was perfectly comfortable, cozy. Now here you can see up on the top of the mountain. So we'd walked, again, about a 12-mile hike we did through the mountains, and my brother-in-law is a super fast walker. He's a natural walker, he's a hiker. And I talk about walking, you'll see my series on effortless walking. And I walk in toe shoes. So I did about 12 miles high-speed walking in my toe shoes through cross-country mountain walk. And here we're right at the top. And now you can see the beginning of the storm. It was so dramatic. It looks like a portal opening. And you could, again, I've taken the sound off, but you hear thunder. And I tried to capture the lightning on the video, but I kept missing it. Every time I'd stop the camera, then the lightning struck afterwards. And if you've watched my videos, you'll see I talk a lot about lightning. I've talked about lightning a few times in discussing ether. And I'm even a bit cavalier, because whenever I see lightning or a lightning storm, I love to go out in it, and I call the lightning, yeah, come and hit me, let's see what happens. Now, of course, that's crazy nonsense, because the lightning we saw was so powerful, and if I was really struck by that lightning, I think I would be vaporized. It's so powerful. But the lightning was going down to the sea. It was going to the sea because, of course, it gets grounded in the sea, even compared to striking the mountains, the earth. It's the vast body of water that can absorb all that electricity. And it was just fascinating to me, because we were right at the highest point of our walk, And this storm was building up and we were right underneath it. So to me, this is magic. We were right underneath as this storm began. So to me, this is what I do. I'm calling for the lightning to come to me. And literally it did. It was there right above me. But it was terrifying, awe-inspiring. And so as I said, if that lightning did hit me or hit us, I think we would have been vaporized. Now, lightning has got different levels because, again, the lightning dissipates as it comes down. So you can be struck by a slight lightning. And so people do survive it. People do survive being hit by lightning. But of course, people don't. And one of my subscribers said that his friend was struck by lightning and that, that finished him off. It was all over. So, I do not underestimate the power of lightning. But I've got an interesting feeling, a connection to nature. I feel connected to it. So I truly believe that if I can create this connection with nature, it's not going to harm me. It's not going to harm me. This powerful lightning will not come down. If I were to get hit by lightning, it would be just the right amount and I would survive it. But again, I'm being very, very cavalier and I do not recommend anyone do what I do. But you can feel the energy. The electrostatics building up in this thunderstorm is everywhere in the air. It just felt so powerful, so magical, so awe-inspiring. The vastness and the power of nature in the universe is phenomenal. Now, and again, this is what I talk about. I'm talking about mainstream knowledge, mainstream science. They all talk about this, look at this. But it's the feeling. It's the feeling. The life force is about feeling connected to this power, this massive, phenomenal power. We are part of nature. It runs through our blood. The electricity runs through our body. It's the same electricity in my body that is in the clouds building up in this storm. And that's how we can connect to it. And that is the magic that I'm trying to transmit in this channel. I feel this magic in my bones. And to me, it is, I don't know how to describe it. So that was the footage. That was the footage I took yesterday. And like I said, it was a 12-mile hike in my toe shoes, going across cross country, very dangerous, very wobbly stones. And it's important, again, even that's an important thing to say. You see, after that 12-mile hike, it's super fast. My brother-in-law is crazy. I don't know how to describe it. He's like an ostrich. He only has one speed walking, and that's fast. I mean, he could do Ironman competitions if he wants to. We were friends for many, many years. I remember when we were very young, we did a 4-day hike through Thailand with a group of friends and with guides. But me and him, we were always way ahead of the guides. We have to keep stopping and waiting for the guides to catch up because we get to the point and we don't know where to go. Which way do we go? So we stop and wait. And then the rest of our friends were tailing back. So we'd arrive and then we'd wait 2-3 hours and then the rest of them came in exhausted. For us, it was nothing. Well, for him, it was nothing, but I could keep up with him. So I talk a lot about walking as if I'm an expert. And I do class myself as an expert because I think about the technique. But he's a natural. He doesn't think about the technique. He just walks. He only has one speed and it's super fast, big strides. So very hard to keep up with this guy, and I've got to keep up full speed. And I've got toe shoes. So at the end of that 12 mile, it must have been about 12 miles, and we did it so fast, about an hour, hour and a half, super fast. My feet were aching, my toes were aching, my whole arch of my foot was aching, but my knees were not, my hips were not. You see, that's what you've got to check for. When you're walking, is it your knees that hurt? And then you've got to be careful. Or your hips or your thighs that hurt. No, it's the foot. So I've done all the work on the toes and the arch of the foot, and that is super strong, very, very high endurance. So when I got back, of course my feet were killing me, but I just fell asleep for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes they're better, they're pretty much better, because the foot and the ankle are tendons, ligaments, and they recover faster. And if you get them to be strong, they have great, great endurance. And now it's the second day, my feet are perfectly fine, back to normal. I could do another 12-mile hike today. And knowing my brother-in-law, we probably will. So that to me is confirmation on my walking training. So when I do this, it's a test. I test myself. Well, let's see how fast and how long can I walk for without getting tired, and let's see what part of my body is aching afterwards. If your foot is aching, your toes are aching, that's good, that's good. If your knee is hurting, your hips are hurting, your thigh muscle is hurting, watch out, you've got the emphasis slightly wrong. All the work is in the bounce in the toes. And when you're jumping down a mountain, you say, I'm landing on the toes, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Very light-footed. You skip up the mountain, skip down the mountain, using your foot, using the power of the arch of the foot and the toes. So again, I'm talking about a few things in this little video, but I'm going to release 2 videos today. The second video I'm going to release today is my deep guided meditation. But that again, people may or may not watch that, that's specific. So I wanted to put a very general video out also, and say that I'm here on holiday, and I'm going to do a few videos bit by bit coming that I film here. I'm going to film some in the gym here as well. But just to conclude this video on questioning, because really that's where I started, and children question. If you know children, they ask the simplest questions, but they ask questions that nobody knows the answer to. Why am I alive? Why is the sky blue? You know, why do I have to do this? What's that? You know, and we don't know how to answer them. But those are the questions. And those are the questions that I ask on this channel. These are big questions that nobody knows the answer to. They don't know the answer. And it might appear that I know the answer, but again, I'm asking questions. And I might think I know the answers. These are the answers that I feel, and I'm sharing my answers to these questions. And I believe there's logic to what I'm saying. I have gone through a logical process through years and years and years of asking these questions, in particular about ether science. And again, the conclusions I now talk about, 2 years ago, I wouldn't say the same answers that I say now, because I keep questioning. But now I've got to the point where I have got a good logical, I don't know what the word is, system or understanding of how I think the universe works, and it is good enough to share. That's what this channel is. But of course it's not perfect. All words are imperfect. And this is what this is. This is words. This is me talking words. That's imperfect. You have to listen to my words, and hopefully those words will stimulate questions in you. Is he right? Is Toby right what he's saying? Yeah, think about it. Do your own research. Use your own critical mind. Perhaps the very best I can hope for, the best result of this channel, is to stimulate questions. And I ask questions that not many people ask. And I'm talking about metaphysics. I'm talking about life itself, the soul and the spirit. And again, a lot of people talking about this. There's whole religions, thousands of years talking about this. But I have not seen a satisfactory, logical, step-by-step scientific approach to metaphysics. I've not really seen it. So what I'm saying are my own thoughts, and they go against mainstream science, but they also go against alternative science. I don't say the same as religions. No, I don't go with religion. I don't go even together with existing metaphysics. I'm saying something different, slightly different to the Tao, slightly different to yoga. Yoga's got philosophy. All these esoteric philosophies, it's still slightly different what I'm saying. I think they're too complicated, too convoluted, and again, they become too... It's a different thing. You've got dogma, and this is not dogma. I'm not talking dogma. I'm talking questions, logic. There must be a logical deduction, or at least you must go through the process of questioning and start at the very beginning. If you listen to my Magical Science lecture series, the very beginning, my first lecture I called What's Wrong with Modern Science? So again, I'm very direct, very critical of mainstream knowledge. But lecture number 2 is what is the force? Now I'm starting to ask questions. And you've got to start from the very beginning. What do we all know? Well, we all know that we're alive. We all know we're feeling something. We all know we're thinking. But what is that? We don't actually know what that is. I don't know what are thoughts. Mainstream science will say, well, thoughts are electricity in the brain. Okay. Well, that's still not satisfactory because you have out-of-body experiences. People have experiences after death and come back. So it's not in the brain. How did you have an experience outside the brain? So there's another question. Again, children ask the best questions. And if you're lucky to have children, my wife and I were never blessed with children. That didn't happen for us. But if you're lucky enough to have children and they ask you questions like that, don't dismiss them. Think deeply. Those are good questions. Good questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep questioning yourself. Keep questioning the mainstream knowledge. In particular, the mainstream now always says the science is settled. How can anyone say that science is settled? Now, I'm not saying science is settled. I'm not even saying what I'm saying is settled. All I'm saying is I'm asking questions, and I've gone through a long, detailed process of trying to answer them. And in these videos I'm sharing with you is my process of answering them. And I hope that my critical mind has been clear enough to take you through a process of logic that you might see some of the answers that I see. But I'm always questioning, always looking, always asking. It has to be the case, has to be the case. Always growing, always learning, always developing. Wisdom is infinite. You have to keep chasing it. Learning is infinite. You have to keep chasing it. Never stop. Never stop. That is the secret of life anyway. The moment we think we know, we're frozen. Don't freeze. Keep moving. Keep moving. So I hope this little talk made sense. And again, I'm going to release a second video today and a second one of my deep guided meditations. But before I put that out, I wanted to put out a note of humility. Again, because I might appear arrogant, I might appear overconfident in my videos, and it's done for an effect. I'm trying to cut through the mainstream knowledge, which is extraordinarily arrogant. The mainstream knowledge is extraordinarily arrogant. And in order to cut through that, I need a bit of strength. I need a bit of so-called arrogance to cut through it. But I'm cutting through it to stimulate questions that people may not have asked yet. But my approach is humble. And I'm very grateful to everyone who's left me very kind, supportive comments, and people that agree with me. Very, very grateful to you. But I'm also grateful to the critics and the harsh critics. The harsh critics, even that. Thank you very, very much. I do appreciate it. But believe you me, I'm a harsh critic of myself also. And in time, as this channel goes along, you should see growth in me. I'm always growing, has to be growing. The videos I made at the beginning are going to be different to the videos I make now, and the videos I make next year are going to be different to the videos I make now. I'm not frozen. I've got to keep growing, keep changing, keep learning. And on this channel, I am trying to improve my vocal skills, my ability to transfer information in such a way that you can receive it and you can understand what it is I'm trying to say. But that, of course, is never perfect. Never perfect. So I'm always grateful to anyone getting back to me, criticizing me. So thank you very, very much. And I'm going to release the second video, my deep guided meditation. And if you enjoy that, also please let me know. So thank you so much again. And I look forward to seeing you in that next video when I put it out a bit later.